You think you're tougher than me? Huh? You think you're tougher than DJ Fish? Fish to go movie reviews, huh? You think you're tough? You think you're tough? Yeah, you probably are.
That's the picture.
Welcome to day number 24 of my 100 Days, 100 Movies Challenge. And, probably looking at the title of this video. And you're thinking to yourself, something like this. You haven't even seen this before, you call yourself a film major, and how the what are you trying to do? I'm like a Yiddish Christopher Walken. And for once, you'd actually be correct. I have not actually seen this movie until just now. It has been widely regarded as one of the greatest films in the history of cinema by some. It's even in the National Film Registry in the Library of Congress for preservation, which to me is probably the greatest achievement any filmmaker could ever bestow on them. I'll just go ahead and say this is Martin Scorsese's masterpiece from 1980, Raging Bull. Now the movie is in black and white, which I know some of you out there detest. But it's such an engrossing film, Michael, just show him a trailer before I give anything else away. Wow. Now, I'm not normally a fan of boxing movies, but I think Raging Bull is a different kind of monster, and we could definitely owe that to Scorsese and De Niro. The film is an adaptation of the memoir of middleweight boxing champion Jake LaMotta, portrayed here by Robert De Niro. He is an animalistic and sadomasochistic type growing up in the Bronx with his brother and manager Joey, portrayed here by Joe Pesci. And he loves to fight. But he always has this idea that he will never get up there with the great heavyweight boxing champions of the world. Through his rage and anger do we see the ultimate breakdown of himself and his family. But in the ring do we get a greater examination of character through all the punches and mannerisms. In short, Raging Bull really is a masterpiece, if not Scorsese's greatest film ever. There's no fooling on this one. Set majorly as flashbacks to title fights that occurred in Jake's career and the people that were around during that time. The black and white cinematography is totally appropriate given that we are flashed back to the 1940s. But even more so because it symbolically links light and shadow to Jake's character. And the few connections it has to the film On the Waterfront is another reason why Scorsese wisely chose this style. The ways in which the events unfold are not only deftly dramatic, but slightly unnerving. And the effect is made even more pronounced by the film's sound design. During fights or tense situations do we sometimes hear silence or muffled crowd noise, or radio broadcasts. And they are all so uniquely placed and transitioned together that I sometimes feel like I'm having an audible orgasm. I'm just saying is all. And of course, what would the film be without Robert De Niro's best performance ever? As Jake LaMotta, Robert De Niro starts hungry for anger, and he never lets it go. The character himself is not one you can wholly sympathize with, but De Niro truly embodies him and what it takes to be a man that nobody wants to be around. Joe Pesci as his brother Joey also deserves some credit for one of his best performances ever, acting almost as a reverse or a 180-degree flip from Jake. And then Scorsese. He is at the top of his game, using classic cinema camera techniques to achieve the most inspired shots of the film. He treats this movie as if it was his baby. He fully understands the depth of dramatic license he's already forced himself into. And he subtly includes thematic elements and visual motifs that really infuse the plot and the characters. As I watched Raging Bull, I felt like I was watching something special before my eyes. It really is not your ordinary boxing film, and it goes so well above and beyond any biographical film that it really should be deemed a classic, as it already has. This gets an A+. What were you really expecting? It's one of those films that you definitely need to see, especially if you plan on going into the film business. If you guys have seen Raging Bull, which I expect you guys already have, what did you guys think about it? Love it? Hate it? And forget hate it. Just, do you love it? Leave one of those comments down below, and if you like any of my reviews, or would just like to continue on my 100 Days, 100 Movies challenge, then you can subscribe up above. After 24 films, I am now down to 76, so we'll see which movie I get to see tomorrow. It may be one of those suggestions you guys made for me, so just keep them coming regularly and I'll keep checking. Don't forget one of these guys. Once again, I'm DJ Fish for Fish to Go Movie Reviews. Movie reviews on the go.
That's the picture.